news stories from around Africa and the rest of the world will come to you on Global Business. We'll also take a look at issues affecting businesses in the southeastern part of Nigeria on the Eastern Business Report. And then finally, activities and conversations from around the market will come to you on Afia. The Afia Business Morning takes center stage every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome to the Afia Business Morning. Trading on the floors of the Nigerian exchange is open today. The exchange in London opened at 9 ago. The New York exchange is yet to open, while in China, opening bells went off at 2 a.m. local time. And just before we get into all those activities on our selected exchanges, let's bring you up to speed on business news stories that are making the rounds. We're starting from the continental economy, where it's reported that Kenya is planning to become a first world country. If you're interested to know as far as our story goes, Kenya, through its deputy president, Kithure Kindiki, has announced that the country's manufacturing and industry sectors are keys to transforming the country to a first world economy. And away from that, let's move on real quickly to the global economy. It's reported that TikTok has been reprieved with Trump's order, but then again with a twist. Story has it that the U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order seeking to delay by 75 days the enforcement of the ban of the popular short video app TikTok, which was slated to be shuttered on January the 19th. Details of the stories and more will come to you on Global Business. And away from that, let's move on to the floors of our featured exchanges. And like they say, charity begins at home, so we start on the floors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this morning. I'm interested to know the NGX, as far as yesterday is concerned, closed on a high, rising by 0.75% to close at 103,138.00 points. A total of 440,324,023 shares valued at 11,970,808,855 naira to kobo were traded across 13,087 deals, with equity capitalization of 63,332,632,966,234 naira for kobo. Now we move on to check out the biggest gainers and losers of the day. The biggest gainer of the day was MTN Nigeria, which rose by 10%. Other gainers were Score, of course, Omatech, Univisure, and CAP. And on the other hand, NSL Tech topped the losers list with a decline of 9.88%. Other losers were AB BDS, Suna Shoa, Deep Cap and CI Leasing. We'll go on another break, and when we return, we'll be looking at activities from other selected exchanges. I'm talking about the likes of the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, the Chinese Stock Exchange, which of course comprises Shenzhen and Shanghai exchanges. The Afia Business Morning and indeed Opening Bell will be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you're watching Opening Bell. We're moving straight to the floors of other featured exchanges, and we're continuing with the exchange at New York, where it's mostly rises in index values across board, except of course the Nasdaq Composite, which is down 0.03%. However, the Nasdaq 100 is up at 1.66%. The NYSE Composite DJ is up at 0.30%. NYSE US 100 index is up 0.32%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 0.78%. S&P 500 index up at 1.00%. The NYSE FANG TM index is also up at 1.41%. Away from the US, let's take a trip to London. And interestingly, it's all rises in index values across board. The FTSE 100 is up at 1.35%. The FTSE 250 up 0.37%. The FTSE 350 is up at 1.22%. The FTSE All Share Index is also up at 1.21%. And now we move on to Asia, stopping by at China. The exchange at Shenzhen comes in first place, and it's all rises in index values across the board. The Shenzhen Component Index is up at 0.60%. The SZSE Composite Index up 0.35%. The Chinex Index is also up at 0.78%. Now the question is, will that be the same order of events when we move over to the next exchange at Shanghai? Well, the answer is no, because clearly it's an even match of rises and dips in index values across the board. The SSE Composite Index, the SSE 50 Index, and the SSE 180 Index are all down 0.05%, 0.16%, and 0.14% respectively. However, the Star 50 Index is up at 0.99%, the SSE 380 Index is up 0.96%, and the CSI 300 Index is also up at 0.31%. We will go on a break, and when we return, we'll be looking at commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the open market. You may want to follow this program and join in on the conversation and watch it live, if you may, on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business while you're there. To hit the like button, remember you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. The Afia Business Morning will be right back after this time out. Stay tuned. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Akwamaga.
I am Chioma Akbala.
My name is Ifulaya Ndule, but I'm even a market speaking.
You're welcome back, and I am Ubon Kings. It's still the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell right here on Afia TV. It's time to check in on commodity prices, and we would start with precious metals. And interestingly, it's upward movement for gold today, and indeed all precious metals on the chart this morning. Gold is up at 0.21%, silver is up 0.02%, platinum is up 0.41%. Palladium is also up at 0.39%. And the question is, will that be the same order when we check out energy this morning? Well, no. The reverse is actually the case. It's all dips in index values across the board. Natural gas with the highest margin of 7.28% down. Ethanol is down 0.43%. Coal is down 1.54%. Oil Brent is down 0.62%. Oil Bonny Light is also down at 2.84%. Brass River and Kwaibo both down with the same values of 0.55%. Away from that, let's take a look at activities as far as industrial metals are concerned. Well, It's a mixture of rises and dips in index values across board, with more of rises anyway. The dips, the commodities that are down are aluminium, lead, and tin, down at 2.05%, 1.06%, and 0.43% respectively. However, iron ore is up at 0.71%. Copper, nickel, and zinc also follow the upward trend at 0.89%, 1.13%, and 2.09% respectively. You are still watching the Afia Business Morning. This indeed is the opening bell to follow the program. Join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you could subscribe, and you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next, we will take a look at the hikes in prices of food commodities in the open market, as well as the hikes in fuel prices. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow on the opening bell when the exchanges reopen for trading. And just so you know, the Afia Business Morning will be right back with Global Business. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending, and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we'll be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubong Kings. Here are the headlines that we are tracking at the moment. Starting off with business news stories from Africa, it's reported that Kenya is planning to become a first world economy. Outside that, TikTok reprieved with Trump order with a twist to it. And then from luxury world, you may trust that Burberry investors are watching for signs of sales turnaround. We will bring you details of these stories and more right after this time out. Stay tuned. You're watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning, and we will begin our business news stories from Africa, where it is reported that Kenya, through its Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, has announced that the country's manufacturing and industry sectors are the keys to transforming the country to a first world economy. The Deputy President pointed out that the current administration under President William Ruto has made significant time and resource investments in value chains that are essential to changing the nation from its current situation. Furthermore, Kindiki indicated how he had accompanied President Ruto in inaugurating the country's first ever payment of bonuses to sugarcane farmers in Muimas, Kagana County, as bonuses of 150 million shillings were given to 15,846 farmers selected from Kagekima, Busia, Bungoma, and Siria counties. Now, quickly, there are a few things I want to point out, right, and emphasize. Number one is the fact that Kenya has announced that the country, its manufacturing and industry sectors are the key transforming sectors, so to speak, to move the country from where it is to a first world economy. Okay. Number two, Kenya has made significant time, according to the story, time and resource investments in value chains that are essential to changing the nation from its current situation. Now, the question is, what is the current situation in Kenya? Now, Not very interesting, I must say, because, well, from 5 missing Kenyan youths that just were released, freed about a week or two ago, and the uproar over abductions. Yeah, I'm telling you what is happening. Tanzanian, which of course involved also a Tanzanian activist who was abducted, and while she was recounting her ordeal, she said she was manhandled and choked. Now, there was also the case of a Kenyan minister alleging the intelligence agency, that's the Kenyan Intelligence Agency, was also behind his son's abduction. Now you get the picture. Now you have an idea of what's really happening, okay, or the seeming precarious situation in Kenya. Now to have the Kenyan Deputy President say that its manufacturing industry and sector are keys to transforming the country to a first world country sounds outrageous. First world economy? How? With all the atrocities perpetrated in the country as at the time of filing this report. Except, of course, there is something else that they haven't said that they are doing. Because if what we see is anything, or what we see on the news, mainstream media, is anything to go by, this is pretty much just a fad, more like a political statement. Moving on to other stories making the rounds, and this time around we're moving to the world of fashion and lifestyle, and more specifically to luxury fashion, as it were. It's reported that the investors of Burberry, a British luxury fashion brand, has high hopes that Burberry will start showing signs of progress in its turnaround when the British luxury brand reports sales for the crucial festive season. Joshua Schoolman, who took the reins as CEO 6 months ago, has promised to build the brand back and reclaim lost market share, a tough task in a struggling luxury market, by focusing on products like the trench coats that Burberry is best known for. Meanwhile, Burberry shares have gained more than 70% since hitting a 15-year low at the start of September, as investors bet that pessimism around the brand has peaked and Schoolman will be able to drive sales up again. Now, I don't know, but from my point of view, this story is about whether or not the luxury fashion brand Burberry will survive another financial year. That's what it's about, okay? Because incidentally, analysts are expecting Burberry to report a 12% decline in comparable sales for the quarter to end December. Yeah, just December that ended. I mean, specifically during the festive period, right? So they're expecting a 12% decline in sales. Now, according to a company-compiled consensus estimate, this 12% decline that is estimated by analysts actually represents an improvement from the 20% drop it reported for the 6 months to September ending. Now, the question that comes to mind is it about time Burberry folds up or merges with another luxury fashion brand, or maybe outrightly sells its business away? Because clearly from what it looks like, is the financials are not looking good. And we'll just keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes, because of course we're expecting this financial report to come in by end of this month, and we'll get to find out whether or not they made some little profit or increase in sales as of December. Well, we'll find out eventually, won't we? You're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. You want to kindly join in on the conversation, watching live right now on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. And while you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should also subscribe so you get notifications and all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next, we'll be looking at more business news stories, and of course, the world of tech is calling to us at the moment, but all of those juicy stories after this time out. Stay tuned. You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning Radio on Afia TV. You're still watching Global Business. Now to the rest of our stories. And then we move on to business news stories, and this time from Asia, where it's reported that Singapore's global energy trading, which is a part of the Global Energy Group, and the Hong Kong and China gas company Town Gas have signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, to develop green methanol supply solutions for the shipping industry across Asia. Town Gas has announced the expansion plans to establish additional production bases across China, including in Inner Mongolia, the Greater Bay Area, and Hainan, with the goal of achieving an annual production capacity of 1 million tons of green fuel and chemical supplies. However, according to Sham Manfai, Chief Operating Officer of Green Fuels and Chemicals at Town Gas, combining Town Gas's strengths in green methanol production with Global Energy's supply chain management and market operation expertise is set to create a robust platform to accelerate the shipping industry's decarbonization journey. And in case this all sounds gibberish to you, let's try to break this down. And for sake of emphasis and in an attempt to define some terminologies, let's look at that particular thing here. It's called green methanol. Now, this is a low-carbon renewable fuel that can be used in place of fossil fuels, just so you know. It is made from green hydrogen and non-fossil carbon, which can be captured, of course, from the atmosphere or created from agricultural and forestry waste. Now, having said that, that's exactly what Singapore's Global Energy Trading and the Hong Kong and China gas company Town Gas had signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, to develop. Now, if this comes through, it will be used in specific aspects. Number one, transportation, because green methanol can be used as a fuel in maritime, more specifically, and of course in air transportation. It can also be blended with traditional fuels. Number two is the fact that it can be used in the chemical industry. Green methanol can be used as a base material for many chemical products, including plastics, glues, and paints. And then, of course, energy storage. Green methanol can also store electricity generated from renewable sources. Now, if you ask me, this is another step by Asia to reduce its carbon footprint. We'll see how it pans out eventually. And finally, and in a bid to end this bulletin, and from the world of tech, let's bring you this report that the US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order seeking to delay by 75 days the enforcement of the ban of the popular short video app TikTok, which was slated to be shuttered on January the 19th. Meanwhile, while signing the order, Trump suggested that the US government should be a half owner of TikTok's US business in return for keeping the app alive, warning that he could impose tariffs on China if Beijing failed to approve a US deal with TikTok. However, the law does not grant Trump authority to extend the deadline unless ByteDance has binding agreements to sell TikTok, and it is unclear any agreement exists. You know, frankly, if you ask me, I saw this coming, because on one hand, we see that TikTok has a huge market in the US. On the other hand, TikTok actually did help Mr. Trump gain the Gen Z population as far as the elections were concerned. True talk. And then on the other hand, the third part is the fact that I saw a business proposition coming in. I mean, for heaven's sake, Trump is a businessman. So it's expected that he will come up with a business solution to this. And the business solution was, or is, the US owns 50% of TikTok. China can keep the other 50. And as far as they're operating in the US, they have their rules, regulations that they must abide by. But then, we'll see how this pans out. And because I was opportune to see a report by Austin American statesman who took out the time to share with us Trump signing executive order on TikTok, explaining why he reversed the ban and wants 50% ownership. Let's take a look.
I do the deal for the United States, then I think we should get half. In other words, I think the U.S. should be entitled to get half of TikTok. And congratulations, TikTok has a good partner. And that would be worth, it could be $500 billion or something. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. But it's worthless if the president doesn't sign, then it's worthless. If the president does sign, it's worth maybe $1 trillion. So I think, like a joint venture, I think we would have a joint venture with the people from TikTok. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's one of many ideas I've had.
So partially, did he say that he's open to that idea?
Who?
The CEO of TikTok is around.
Oh, I think he'd probably like it. Because he's got nothing. I mean, they really have nothing. It's passed in Congress. It gives the president a right to make a deal or to close it. And we have 90 days to make that decision. But I could see making a deal where the U.S. gets 50% of TikTok, polices it a little bit or a lot, depends on them. But remember, they make telephones in China, they make all sorts of things in China. Nobody ever complains about that. Here they're complaining about this. There's so many different products made in China, and nobody ever complained about it. The only one they complain about is TikTok. And TikTok is largely young people. I guess I have a warm spot for TikTok that I didn't have originally. But, I went on TikTok, and I won young people up by 36%, Peter. And Republicans typically don't do too well with young people. But it's a different Republican Party.
Would the U.S. government buy a portion of TikTok then, or how would it get that 50%?
No, you'd take 50% of TikTok for the approval that TikTok can continue in business. And they'd have a great partner. The U.S. would be their partner.
Oh, well, we'll follow up with all the stories and keep you in the loop as they unfold. And talking about keeping in the loop, you want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Watching live, drop a comment or two, kindly tap in the search bar, www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. Up next will be the Eastern Business Report, and where we'll be looking at, Nigerians in survivor mood as hard times persist and food inflation worsens. All of that after this time out. The Afia Business Morning will be right back. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
break. It's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired. Need a break?
Ladies and germs, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
Join Choco to vibe and chill on Lunch Break at 2 p.m. for the latest trends in music and entertainment.
Not like I have big money.
Dive into the world of innovation and creativity with Rochelle on Anka.
It means art in English.
Where creative minds and groundbreaking ideas come to life. Tune in every weekday at 8 p.m. Do not miss Afia TV Official, your perfect dose of laughter, where they discuss what is currently trending on social media every day at 5:30 p.m. on Afia TV.
But in this economy, the savings will save you, man.
And that's not all. Stay tuned for more exciting shows on Afia TV. Catch us on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owners, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and...
An incompetent means an incompetent person.
I'm glad to have you rejoin us on the Afia Business Morning. This is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies affecting businesses and the economy of the Southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we'll be looking at, the fact that Nigerians are in survivor mode as hard times persist and food inflation worsens. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome to the Eastern Business Report. Yeah, welcome back. My name is Ubong Kings, and we're going to be jumping right into this conversation. Before I introduce my guest, just so you know real quickly, and by reason of research, we found out that for the average Nigerian, the rising cost of food items has become a harsh reality, with food inflation hitting 39.84% in December 2024, according to recent data from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. The rise in food inflation on a year-to-year basis was caused by increase in prices of the following items: yam, water yam, sweet potatoes, etc. Potatoes, yam, and other tuber class, beer, of course, pinto, which of course tobacco class, guinea corn, maize, grains, rice, etc., bread, cereals, etc. and dried fish, the likes of sardine, catfish, etc. That's in the fish class. Now, despite the government's interventions, the daily challenge of affording basic necessities persists, leaving many to wonder when relief will come. Joining me on this conversation this morning is none other than seasoned public affairs analyst and a property consultant. I'm talking about none other than Emmanuel Chime, who joins us live here in the studio. It's good to have you join us, Emmanuel. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Kings. Good morning.
So quickly, let's look at this issue very quickly. I mean, headline is Nigerians are in survival mode. Your thoughts really quickly.
Okay, what happened is that, it shouldn't be something so surprising to Nigerians and, of course, to anybody in the world. It's been noted since 2015-2016 that Nigeria appears to be, or happens to be, braggingly, the poverty quarter of the world. And so for us to be suffering from food insecurity, it's not supposed to be so flabbergasting to us. I mean, that's exactly what our leaders attracted to us. Not as if the Nigerians are very lazy people, or that we are not endowed with a lot of natural resources that can, sustain us. No, it's not. But it's as a result of mismanagement. It's as a result of leadership quagmire. Okay, and so when we begin to hear about the issue of food insecurity, to a high rate, you begin to think about unemployment rate. I mean, someone who is not working, how would the person be talking about eating? Before you start talking about to eat, at least your hands have to be on plow. All right? And so when we talk about Nigerians who have lost their jobs in the recent time as a result of, wrong policies or harsh policies of the government, you know about a lot of blue chip companies that left Nigeria in the recent time, right? It is people who were working in those areas that lost their jobs. It is people that lost their jobs. And those people, they can't be eating nothingness. Okay? So for them to be eating, they ought to be working. And you now start talking about, you put it together with the ones who don't even have a job doing at all. Then you begin to talk about the ones who are underemployed. All right? So when you talk about the underemployment rate in Nigeria and that of unemployment rate, cumulative, then you begin to see the reason why we are taking towards where we are today, suffering food insecurity. So it's no longer something that we'll be wondering about how do we get to this place.
Now, just before we get into the place of, like you did mention earlier, the place of joblessness and all of that, let's look at something very critical that was shared by NBS. They say that the 2024 Global Report on Food Crisis ranks Nigeria the second globally in terms of acute food insecurity, with over 24 million people classified as food insecure. Now, this is a sad reality that we find ourselves. This is a place we find ourselves as a nation. But the question is, I mean, we get to hear people say that there's actually food, but then it is the ability to purchase this food that is now the issue. How do we marry these two extremes?
Ubon, at first, I even disagree with the figure that they gave to us. I think that they underfigured us. We are more than 24 million people who are suffering from acute food insecurity in Nigeria. All right, so I think they are just trying to make use of maybe pilot working, to give us some figures. Go out there and see that people are suffering in abject poverty. People are suffering, people don't have anything to eat. Ubon, how many persons are going to the farms now and again? When you talk about that the food is there and it is as a result of the money with which to buy, it's not true. It's not entirely true. The truth is that the food is not there. I mean, the product itself, they are not there. Then you start talking about the inflation that have eaten down the values of the currency we are making use of in Nigeria locally here. Then you begin to now ask of maybe question the purchasing power of the currency. All right? But one factor you talk about first, or you look at first, is insecurity. People can no longer go to their farms. Kidnappers have taken over their farms. Bandits have taken over the farms. The armed bandits have taken over the farms. They kill people for rituals, kill people to sell them in parts. They have taken over the entire farms. A lot of sects are recruiting themselves on daily basis in Nigeria. I hope you're aware that including immigration, Nigeria Immigration Service gave out a circular that was some days ago. They publicized the circular some days ago, you know, announcing the presence of another sect in Nigeria that have entered Nigeria just as we're talking now. So for goodness sake, mind you, these guys are not operating in the air. They're operating in our bushes, within our neighborhood. And they are part of the reasons why we are no longer going to the farms. So who did not go to the farm? Where do you now produce this food that we're talking about? Is it not in the farm? Do you produce it in your parlor? Or you sit in your bedroom? You don't do that. It's not something you browse on the internet. It's something you have to go to the farm out there, put your hands to the plow. I mean, then you begin to talk about yield, or begin to talk about, you know, harvest in the next occasion. But in this order, people don't go to the farm again. You can't go. If you go, I mean, you're on your own. Government will not even come to your aid by the time they will take you up. Government wouldn't come to your aid. So that one on its own is a factor, insecurity. Then we begin to talk about the value of our naira. The value of our naira have made a mess of whatever you have at your hand, you know, when you talk about currency. I mean, inflation have killed our currency. And so you begin to talk about, okay, you now have maybe a bag of rice. Then you begin to talk of how many times or how many months are you going to be able to generate the money you used to buy a bag of rice in Nigeria today. Then that's where you now start talking about a factor called that the food is there, but the money to go and buy is not there. The money is there actually, but the money does not have value. Then what did you do as well to be able to have access to the money is another factor. There are no jobs for you to do. Then when you even have the money does not have purchasing power. Then when you have the money, you did not see the food to buy because nobody cultivated. And part of the major reasons why with the food prices are skyrocketing is because it is few that have access to, you know, getting the food. Many areas of farmlands today, go up there in the north, have been fallowed because we can't go there to go and make a harvest. Obong, maybe would I say hilariously the other day I just saw a video making rounds up there in the north where a few individuals want to go to the farm to go and make some harvest. They were there just harvesting, women harvested about, let me say, roughly about 6 or 8 of them harvesting, and soldiers standing by the side with their guns in the bush. Obong, can we survive with that? Is it sustainable? So how many persons will the soldiers now escort to the bush to go and make a harvest? What would they be able to harvest? Mind you, what they're harvesting is just for family use. It's not something in commercial quantity that you now say, okay, they use machines, you know, to go and harvest, maybe using tractors or thereabout, and by the time they come out, maybe a whole local government will have something to eat in abundance. But in this order, we're talking about a family that just, peasant farmers, that just entered into the bush. And how many soldiers do we have? I mean, the head count of how many soldiers do we have that will now be following farmers up and down to go into the bush, to go and cultivate, or to go and get out the ones that are being cultivated? Is it sustainable? So if we want to fix this issue of food insecurity in Nigeria, which have become our surname, then we begin to talk about fixing our security issue in Nigeria. Fixing it. On a daily basis, we'll keep seeing a lot of people, I mean, coming up with different names of sects in Nigeria. Terrorism sects in Nigeria. I mean, as if we are registering political parties. As if we are talking about social clubs. They are coming up on a daily basis with a lot of intentions. That was about last month. A deputy commissioner of police got arrested in Kaduna State. I hope you're aware of that. I have the video with me, even as I'm talking here. He got arrested because of what? He is supplying logistics, supplying arms, ammunition to bandits in the bush. A deputy commissioner of police. Now, tell me how you can surmount these guys if a chief in the police, in that rank, will be part of them. And this particular chief is part of the circle that are taking decision on how to go and get these guys in the bush. How do you think we can solve the problem? So when we begin to look at this, we can look at it as being so complex. Then we begin to look at, if we want to actually solve it, we begin to talk about how to be holistic. whomsoever is fingered, let that person be brought down. Starting from the minister, junior minister of defense. He needed to answer some questions. If we want to get it right, not shading him because of political reasons. He's been fingered in several occasions. A lot of inquiries have been made, a lot of investigations have been made, including the sitting governor of Zamfara State have made his own investigations. I have fingered him as well. But till today, he have not been arrested. He have not been invited by DSS for questioning. So if we want to get it right and begin to produce like Nigeria will always produce and even have excess for exportation, then we begin to bring these guys to book. As simple as ABC. If we would not do that, no, we can't get it right.
Now let's look at something like you mentioned earlier. Let's delve into it a lot further. That has to do with the place of joblessness, okay, in the place of food security or insecurity and all of that, and of course ramping up criminality, as it were, by extension. And the question really is, what can be done? I mean, we've seen quite a number of companies fold up. We've seen some leave the country. We've seen businesses literally struggle, resize the population as their workforce, and they keep only few hands just to make ends meet, etc. What exactly could be done to pretty much, like you did say, it is only someone that has the money, the resources, that will be able to say he wants to go and buy food to eat. So how do we work that out?
Okay, Ubon, at first, I think the government need to do a lot of job here. A very simple job anywhere in the area of policy factors. It is the policy factor that brought Nigerian Naira down to zero today. You're aware of that, right? And so if you're talking about investing in Nigeria, then we begin to talk of how to grapple with the issue of value of the fund that you are investing. Yeah. You know, when you are recouping, what's the value of whatever you are recouping? If you take it back to your country, say South Africa here, if you take like $1 million Naira to South Africa, what is it going to mean to South African currency? What is it going to mean to American currency? What is it going to mean to British pounds? What is it going to mean if you take it back to Canada? What is it going to mean? Then you begin to talk of all this. Mind you, we'll be talking about direct foreign investment, right? Yeah. Which is supposedly to be a major means of creation of jobs, right? For our youths, they are unemployed. Then you begin to talk about, when you begin to talk about that, you begin to talk of, okay, people who will be talking about, who will be interested in a viable economy. These are capitalists. These are not economists. These are not communists. They are capitalists. They are coming to make profits. And if they come and they did not see, factors indicating that they're going to make profits, they will simply look for another location. And when you talk about Nigerian Naira, it's nothing to write about. Then you now see that this is going to mean that one will be in Nigeria and will be making use of dollars in Nigeria, which is a foreign currency, and which is even an affront to Nigeria as an entity. That one will be in Nigeria doing businesses, and that person will be doing business, exchanging services or goods, for dollar instead of for Naira. And so, how do we now explain that? That our identity is being swept under carpet just to lift another person's flag or lift another country's flag. So for goodness sake, we'll begin to look at that. Then we'll begin to look at security situation in the country. If we begin to fix that area, then a lot of individuals will be encouraged to go into this or the other area of businesses. Okay, let's forget about going to the bush to go and farm. Ubong, you discovered a lot of lives. Nightlife in Enugu, for instance, is just trying to come back a bit than before now. I remember, say, back 9 years back or thereabout, under the S2I Governor Sullivan Chime, nightlife in Enugu was something so beautiful in Enugu as at then. All right? So you can actually do any business as at then. If you maybe, get into Enugu by chance or thereabout, maybe around 11, around 12 or thereabout, you see cab, you see businesses still by the side. Yeah. Everywhere is open. Things are happening. That's business happening. Ubong today, even in the daytime, they are kidnapping people from the streets of Enugu metropolis. Not just Enugu, but we are using Enugu as an instance here. Then you talk about other states. The same thing happening in the daytime. Now they begin to talk about people you will not say, okay, go and begin to, you know, put your hands to plow, let's say in the area of tech, training people in tech or thereabout for them to, you know, go into technology world. You will leave a particular place to another place, maybe for a job, maybe for the training, to assess the skill, maybe for this or that. That person who is making that movement for that day may not come back alive, may not come back free, may just go, and the next thing is that people will start flying news around that this person left home so and so day, and we couldn't see the person again, and calling, we couldn't get the number. And the next thing, maybe after some while, you begin to hear that some people are calling ransom to be paid. Then these are happening within the metropolis. Not that those persons went to the bush to go and do farming or thereabout. Now we begin to see that there is every need, you know, to up our security, you know, factor, to fix a lot of things in that area, as to be able to encourage people to begin to go out, do their businesses, you know, without any hitch. Do their businesses, you know, do it and go back home. Then we begin to talk about giving out grants to youths. But before you give that grant, you train these guys, equip them with skills, especially modern skills. It is no longer enough to go and train people on how to make soap, how to make liquid soap, how to make shampoo, how to make perfumes. Those areas have been saturated. If you want to train people and equip them, train them on digital skills. We're talking about how to compete with international community. We're talking about how to, when your market will no longer be limited to the people within and around you.
Yeah.
When you have a skill that is sellable, you know, within the international market. You can be here in Nigeria, you'll be working for a company or some companies out there in Europe, out there in America. But if you are doing shampoo, doing liquid soap or this, that, for goodness sake, it is within your confines. You may not even leave your street and get to another street. It may just be because if you're going to another street, you see another person who tells you that I have that skill, I'm not even making use of it. Okay, and so it is no longer fashionable. So we begin to talk about AI, artificial intelligence skills. We begin to talk about these tech-centered skills. Give it to our youths, then give them some grants, and see them begin to create jobs by themselves for others as well. So, boy, if we keep talking about you are training them on how to go and maybe how to go and make cake or thereabout, we will not get it right. Or we are not even talking about how to train them as well. We are not getting it right by them. I think it is high time that Southeast region begin to talk about our own economic development plan, master plan. Begin to follow it holistically. We begin to talk about how do we open up our economic, our socio-economic, you know, route in Southeast. If we want to talk about that, we'll talk about transportation as well. We'll talk about fixing our roads. We'll talk about fixing region connected rail line. We can do that as a region, Then our transportation will become top notch. These are a lot of infrastructures you see up there in Western world. And these are part of the reasons why if our people go there, they'll be so happy. You see them making use of trains. If you want to take off from here to Aba, for instance, then the discovery is very easy for you. Within some seconds, within some minutes, you are there. It's going to be easy enough if we make use of these trains, especially speed trains. We can do that as a region. Thank you, Bob.
Okay, I wish you had more time because you just entered something that I would have wanted us to touch on and the place of transportation and all that, but hopefully we'll have the conversation another time. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for joining me.
Thank you, Bob.
And in case you're just joining in, I've been playing host to Emmanuel Chime, who is he's a seasoned public affairs analyst and a real estate consultant. And this is the size of the package today on the Eastern Business Report, and you're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Kindly join in on the conversation, watching live, as it were, on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel, displayed right there on your screen. Coming up next is Oyin Afia. My name is Ubong Kings. Thank you for your time. Good morning.